Hi, my name is Zach Vandelat, and I'll be going over more of my Gollemer project, kind of updates that I made to it. It's a Go project. It's basically uses neural networks, but runs them and trains them and everything through the CLI. But it also has like utility subprograms, I guess, like a tutorial and all that, and it generates files and stuff. I'll just show you. So Um, I updated the UI a little bit, but so you can do your regular commands, uh, or you could just tell it to do whatever because it uses kind of intent guessing. You can do create a folder. Well, I just run the tutorial. That'd be a little easier. It basically kind of tells you what to do. Create folder, my news, and then go into my news. Okay, and then create file. Where was it? Just says not create. Let's say main. Okay, created it. Well, it's a little goofy, but you get the idea. You get to kind of type things out and do whatever. You do create web server. Let's say Jill. But right now, it just creates a regular file for you. What else? You could say, where do I start? Get both. Because there's a certain training folder for conversation that it trains on, and it basically does the intent. This is the question. This is the answer. It also trains on other conversations and all sorts of intent guessing stuff. Some of them are just flat out words, like books. So you can also do audit or doctor. There wasn't a whole lot of code to do stuff with, but yeah. You do create handler gem with URL gem. Thing is, though, the file it did create wasn't really like a whole server, as you can tell. And if for some reason it skipped the name with I don't know why I did that, but the point is, I'm just trying to get more into making it more useful, but also the training I've been kind of getting more into a little bit. I made it a bash file, and it saves the training to a GOP file and spits out a lot more stuff, and we'll give, hopefully the video doesn't slow down because of this, but the bash file itself is in scripts, as most of the scripts are, and it's train. and it takes the garbage collector down a bit. This Chromebook. Yeah, saves a lot of the data. Also removes the old files. Just does a lot of things while you're training, sort of, and also puts all the flags on there. And so you do with experimental package CIMD. There's just a lot of stuff and tests it, benchmarks and all that. And the training though now takes a whole lot longer, just because it's a little more accurate. Doesn't have so many errors in the training, I guess you could say, and it doesn't fill it or have to remove words or characters that don't make a whole lot of sense. And it spits out a lot of stuff on which experts are being used or utilized or whatever. See Epoch 0 batch. Takes a little bit more time to train. That's just because there's a whole lot to making the training just run right, as far as the learning curve and everything. And that takes a lot more processing because your program tends to want to do all these things in order to, see, that's the heat map of the training. Your program wants to take the shortest route to get the training done, not so much be accurate. And so when you have these 8 experts, say the thought experts 2 out of 8, it doesn't just throw all the tokens into 1 or 2 of them. If it feels like one is getting a little too good during training, it'll freeze it and make the other ones kind of try and do stuff. They do learn over time and everything. I think that's what these certain epoch saving files are. But I gotta do something where it saves the experts training, or allows you to also remove it. It's that conversating file 6,500. I mean, it trains and uses a lot of vocabulary and everything. Doesn't mean it always gets it right or anything, but it's just a way to try and improve things, and you can watch it more. And there is this, which it doesn't actually work right now. It's just more of a I gotta rerun it. This site, it doesn't quite work the greatest, because I gotta have a way to when it did work, it's just a way to watch things, because I'll leave it on all night and let it train or do whatever, and then it's supposed to be a way for me to kind of, instead of just having files get created, visually create graphs and everything, all in due time, I guess. But yeah, that's generally what was updated and why and everything. I did kind of realize that why did it change the web server to 8080? That's kind of weird. It started the WASM server. I had to change that. That's kind of funny. But Um, I was gonna say that I built out all these utilities, but I kind of realized that they're not the most useful thing in the world. I mean, I guess they are a little gimmicky, but I'm going back to trying to improve the training. Right now, the training just has a whole bunch of extra stuff added to it, and not really. I didn't touch the optimization of it again, and so yeah, it's gonna run a little slower now. But which is fine, whatever. Um, but you can kind of tell it's somewhat. See, I didn't understand your request. If you run the same thing, sort of changes it. It still has the menu and all that stuff, but the point is, I'm trying to go back to just trying to make it smarter, and try and get it to make senses a little bit more on its own instead of relying so much on that conversative training data. I mean, the conversative training data helps a lot, but as you can tell, I did have it do the typewriter animation where it does each word, but I just felt like it's slow. I mean, it's neater looking, but it's just how much would I just print it out? Like, to me, it's just a lot quicker. But yeah, I'll be in the future working this on the model itself and the training in the experts, just to try and get it to be a bit smarter, not so much having to patchwork some stuff. Hopefully. I don't know what. See, that didn't work out very well. There's a lot of things that I'm still kind of doing and trying to improve on. I kind of went through a phase thing with the utility stuff, and then I went back to the training thing because I was like, well, I just can't make it on its own be conversative, like completely on its own, like without the conversation training data. I have a feeling I don't know how I'm going to be able to rectify how that exactly is going to go down. Because the vocabulary trains on books. I wonder if I should just have it trained. See, then the problem is it'll just give you back sentences from books. I'm gonna have to come up with some other kind of symbolic concept for it to train on with sentences. Maybe some grammatical. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, that's kind of what I've been working on. I obviously made the files and folders a lot neater. It was a little bit all over the place before, and this sort of made it more conventional, I guess, so that other people can kind of read more into it better. But yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.